Here we go. So it's not Saturday but Sunday today because yesterday I really felt under the weather. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, I woke up, I was really dizzy again, and I think it's because of the weather changing so much. And the weather pressure also being absolutely crazy recently. So we are starting the day today with a grid drive as usually we do on Saturdays. I think we are exploring Second Life a bit and take a look on a little city or something. It's gonna be a long trip, or at least that is what the introduction said. So yeah, let's just find out what this is about, I guess. Here we go. So there is one little problem today. Since it's Sunday, we are starting at a time that is very, very close to the starting time of the main group of the drivers. So there's a lot of traffic and the driver group was also very late today, so I think they just departed about 5 to 10 minutes ago, which makes the traffic even worse. But it also means that once we took over, we pretty much don't run into anyone anymore. So yeah, with all of this said, let's get started, I guess. Okay, I have no idea why, but for some reason the game sounded really loud today. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but for some reason I forgot about the existence of crossings altogether, which is really wild. And here you can already see the first people from the main group. So I think that's about 40 people or maybe 50. It's a lot, so expect a lot of people on the roads that we're gonna pass by pretty soon. The last weeks, I don't know, it felt really short. And it's not just the last week, but the entire year felt really short. But the last week especially so. Yeah, there has been a little breakthrough for me this week, and let me tell you about it. So, usually I was a bit of a road rager, because I don't like driving very much. I can drive, I never had a car accident in my life, but I don't know, it's just something that you do and not something that you get to enjoy very much. But recently, since I started to see things from a different perspective, I opened up a little more to just how life is and the inevitability of things. Oh my gosh. And this is the lack of many people on the road. Yeah, ever since I had this little sort of insight, I started to naturally develop some sort of patience and inner calmness. And with this, everything changed. I look at things very different now, and I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but driving is very different now. It's lost this annoyance and the bothersome aspect to it, and it just became something that it is still necessary to do, but it's not something that we need to get annoyed about. And it's also not something that we have to, I don't know, it's just something that we can do, and if we don't let it bother us, then it becomes just part of the day that is also just okay. Yesterday, this patience and calmness has transformed another part of my life, which usually was very effective driven, and that is shopping. And a lot of people really love shopping, but especially grocery shopping and clothes shopping, that has always just been part of the means of getting food and getting clothes, and I tried to keep it as quick and effective as possible, because I preferred the time to be spent at home and the freedom of not having to shop. So I always went and bought enough stuff to cover 2 weeks or more. And yeah, I didn't like it. It is just bothersome when usually connected to shopping to work. So when I was driving home after work, I did the shopping on the way. Sorry. I've got a terrible dry throat today. Yeah, I usually do the shopping on the way home from work, so it just becomes more effective and it takes up less of my time. And don't get me wrong, I usually when I'm at the checkout and I got a lot of stuff, which I usually do because I buy stuff in advance for many weeks, and yeah, if I see people with just a few items behind me, I always let them pass me by and check out before me. So that didn't change, that has always been something that I've been doing. But what has changed is how I see the shopping. So I usually never go shopping on the weekend. But yesterday I considered to try it because it already felt a little different. So I went shopping and I leisurely went through all of the shopping aisles and put all of the stuff that I wanted to buy inside of my shopping cart. And I don't know, I didn't rush, I didn't try to be on the clock or just make do with the least amount of time spent. But instead, I just focused on what do I need, what do I want, what is not really necessary, but I always pay a lot of attention to stuff that is on sale. And yeah, I went shopping for about an hour, and I again had 2 people that I just let pass me by at the checkout, because I just had a lot of stuff again. When I returned to my car, I suddenly felt very, very different from usually. So how it usually is, I get to my car, I throw everything inside of it, and I'm just glad that it is finally done. But this time, I just went to the car and I was like, wait a second. I was shopping and I pretty much enjoyed all of it. Aside of the paying, of course. Who does like to pay for stuff? But yeah, everything up to the checkout, and even after the checkout, it was just part of my free time. And it didn't feel bothersome or something, so yeah, in a way, it was just a part of the weekend and it also felt free. And this was very, very different from the usual because, as it usually is, as I said, shopping has always been sort of necessary but also very, very bothersome. And now it's just, I don't know, it's okay, it can be something that is just as relaxing as watching YouTube clips. And this was something that I never expected to achieve just from gaining more patience and calmness. Just the realization that every task, even the mundane or the bothersome ones, if you just look at them differently, they can just become something naturally and calm and relaxing. And yeah, in some way, this is also portrayed very much in Buddhism, because there's texts about chopping wood and carrying water, and these tasks don't change, but they become lighter and we start doing them just with an open mind of sorts. And I have no idea where the resting sound is. I guess it's over there. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. Ah, there we go. So yeah, this is just something that I slowly start to realize, that it is not limited to just driving, but it becomes part of everything in my life, and it just, this patience alone is such a big change. And if we add the perspectives and the easiness and the lightness in all of the tasks, then this is just something that it holds so much potential. And it makes life so much easier as well if you start to see that not everything has to be really annoying, but it's necessary and it's fine and it is still relaxing and it is a part of your life, and we just have to give up the defense that we built up. The idea that everything that is not actively part of our free time has to be something bad, and it's really not like this. And if we start to see it like in a different way, that even though it is not something that we actively made of our free time, it is still something that we can enjoy. Just a little jump. Yeah, this is something that I realized yesterday. And again, this holds such a potential, it's insane. And I'm still pretty much discovering all of this, because it is all still setting in all of the patience, the calmness, and the perspective shift that I pretty much had since the first day of getting behind things. And that is just crazy. Okay, are we already there? I'm not sure. Maybe I just missed the checkpoint. Let me just try to... Nope, we definitely... There we go. Yeah, this was really hard to get because it's right on the crossing. Hey there, Frank. Oh, they changed this area over here. There used to be a big parking lot and the entrance to some sort of amusement park. And now it's just buildings, I guess. Okay, we're getting back on the road, but I'm not sure if we need a road vehicle on it. And let me just erase one just in case. Also, Frank, you just missed a lot of insight. And there we go. Oh, I did not realize there's such a height difference. Well, I already do. I guess it would have been easier if I just rested on the road. Well, you'll never know. And I'm quite glad that they changed this part of the map. because this used to be some sort of a roundabout where you just have to drive in really tight circles. And now it's sort of just a 2 or 3 stage rise, which is so much easier to take. There's sort of insight that once you develop a certain understanding of things, you passively gain things back like patience and calmness. And combining different perspectives with more patience and calmness is creeping into any aspect of life and changing things a lot. And it helps to make a lot of things that were usually non-negative or bothersome into something that is just part of life and can be just as relaxing as active used free time. And that is a very strong insight that changes pretty much everything over time. And there we go. Oh, I can't open these. Okay. I'm not sure if this is the right way. Nope. I think I was supposed to take the other one. And there we go. Yeah, the instructions were just a bit unclear. I kind of expected it, but the hut seemed so sure about this. Okay. That seemed to be an interesting start. I've been trying to find a better pants, but it is so hard to find some digital pants that work with the body, and the problem really comes to the legs because as a fox, I don't have straightened down legs, but they are really great pants legs, which means that the pants also pretty much need a little curved bottom parts. And that is so rare these days. A lot of the items on the marketplace just vanished over time. I can show you the difference when we arrived at the end of the line, because you can quickly see that this is a very different kind of leg parts. I guess I could just temporarily take off the legs, but yeah, I don't really like this because it also leaves a very invisible area between the knee and the foot, which is the pant would have to cover entirely. And it makes clothing shopping so much difficult on Second Life. Oh my gosh. I think there's a little Eiffel Tower. Yep. Oh, okay, we're driving right to it. It's an interesting location though. The left side is a bit sparse, I have to say. The right side is nice though. Or it used to be. And this is more like the outer area, so the outskirts. I've been really trying to improve my vocabulary recently because I realized when I was streaming and talking and even just listening that there are still a bunch of words that I pretty much lack, and it makes it so much harder to remain fluent in the language. I mean, I'm not bad, considering that I'm not a native English speaker. I think I'm pretty much fluent, but it is still something, and sometimes I'm just the biggest issue for something, for someone who is not a native speaker is that you can try to translate the words, but it's very hard to translate the meaning. So if I translate something and I just think about what do I want to say and the how do I want to say it is secondary. But for native speakers that makes a big difference sometimes. Because especially if you are German, you tend to be a bit more rough and we don't sugarcoat stuff a lot. So we are very direct. And if I just translate this roughness and directness, that often is interpreted as just as much rough and direct, but also as a lot of times it sounds rude to people, which isn't meant in a rude way. But it's just something that I realized over the time, that sometimes if you just try to translate stuff plainly from the text perspective, that can be interpreted very differently. But yeah, if you try to just use the language daily, which I've been doing for the last 16 years or something, then it's getting a lot better. I still tend to do it sometimes, but yeah, if you try to make the language a bit more natural and add a bit of slang and personality, and I really like this area on the left. Then, yeah, I think the language also becomes a bit more vivid and living, instead of just being a structured something. There we go. Yeah, I just wanted to look at it. Also, I find it so funny that we left so many of the drivers behind us already. They are just so slow driving. Oh my gosh. These are some really very steep roads over here. Oh my gosh. Oh, going back to the topic of shopping. I've been shopping online a bit and I really love Etsy. Etsy is potentially such a strong platform where you get stuff that you don't get anywhere else. I just recently ordered stuff on Etsy, which I'm very happy about, but it didn't arrive yet. That just gives me a reason to be happy and looking forward to getting it. And what I ordered is a little keychain and some cookie cutters and a t-shirt. So nothing really extraordinary, but this is gonna be stuff that is not too widely spread, and things that I just I'm one of very few people that will have this shirt and have these cookie cutters, and the keychain is super cute. And yeah, so we also support private people that are just making these things. That is so much better than supporting a big factory in China that is just mass producing stuff very cheaply. So I've got a very good feeling when I buy stuff like this, because it also helps people and it gives me something very special. And I may have also ordered a My Little Pony baking book with cookie recipes and cake recipes, so but we don't talk about this. I mean, I have to test the cookie cutters and something, right? Yeah, I know, I should be old enough, but you're never old enough. I mean, some people just embrace their inner child. And even though Buddhism is saying to let use of possession and wanting or owning was just the need of buying and having, but honestly, this is just my way and my nature, and it's not only that I reward myself for the work I'm doing, but it is also something that is fueling my spiritual and mental energy, and it's like refilling the fuel tank of happiness sometimes. When you buy something really fun that you love so much, and it's not just a buy once and put away, but it's something that I potentially get to use a lot of times, so that I maybe get to wear a lot of days, like the t-shirt. And something that is just becoming a part of my life, and in this aspect, I don't think that this is money wasted. I have to say, I also buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. Just because Amazon made it very, very handy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me just get back on the road. This was just way too steep. Okay, there we go. Yeah, definitely. This is something that I really like, when you have something that you're very passionate about. Then buying these things is not just consumption and being a customer, buying stuff and then putting it away, but it is also a part of collecting, and it's always stuff that you get to use or that I get to look at every day, so it's never just for buying the stuff, but also for making it part of life and having it in my view, or just being able to play it with friends. And this is something that is much more valuable than just buying stuff and putting it behind a closed door shelf. Like, I've been buying a little statue of a Queen Chrysalis a few days ago, and this used to be very, very expensive. You usually pay between 50 or 70 bucks, but I got it for 30 bucks. And that's pretty cheap. A lot of the furniture in my living room and my bedroom, they are not just closed, but they got a lot of glass elements. So every time I buy something that I really like visually, I put it behind a glass shelf, because this allows me to look at it every day. And again, this is not just about buying pretty stuff, but there's a collecting aspect behind this. And there's also the usability and the aspect that it becomes something that I just can look at every day. And that makes it so much more fun. And but I also have to say that the inner child is very childish. But that's not a problem because we just have to be responsible about it. And as long as we are balanced, rooted and responsible, and these things don't get out of hand, then everything is fine. And it's not like I'm just buying stuff for myself. If things are really getting out of hand, I always make sure that I make a donation for a charity. Just to make sure that I bought a lot of stuff for myself, but I'm also giving something back. And again, if I buy something from Etsy, then that also means that I supported a private person and not just a company. And I think this is important to... I don't say that everybody has to do it or that there's some sort of a responsibility, but if you have the chance to support someone who is a private person who is potentially not very rich and maybe even struggling in life, or if you just donate some money to charity, and that holds a very different value from just buying something from, like, Amazon. But there's also a perspective that you need to consider. Amazon is a very big platform that potentially destroyed a lot of individual stores, but by growing really big, it also created a lot of jobs for people. And those people got a job, they get to pay their rent, and just because people buy from Amazon, there's a lot of people that can make a living from it. So there's always two sides of a coin. And nothing is just always really bad. Or at least often. Obviously, there's also things that are just really bad. Okay, Frank. What is the stuff that you collect? If you don't mind sharing. Oh my gosh. That was a wild crossing. I've been collecting way too much stuff in my life. I've got so many tabletop figures, so many games that I really loved just to look at, and sometimes I can just play with myself as well. Yeah, all of the trading cards that I got. There's different levels of trading cards, you know, there's the ones that you often play, or that you potentially could play a lot. And there's also the ones that you make a few theme decks because you like them. Like, I've got, I think, only 4 or 5 Magic the Gathering decks. And they are not very strong. They are just things that I really wanted to make because I liked the themes. And then there's the Pokemon decks, which are pretty much the same. Because I only got foxes like the Delphox deck, the Solak deck, some stuff that is like the Applin Festival deck, because I love the festival stuff. And stuff like this. I don't just build the decks because they are strong, but because I really love the topics and the themes. And then there's obviously also the games where it's really just about collecting. Which for me was a lot of years Yu-Gi-Oh! I've got, I think, over 130 Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks that are pretty much ready to play. which is absolutely insane. Don't even get started about it. I know that it's crazy. 130 plus decks is beyond collecting. It's just crazy. That's... I really love them. Sometimes I take one of the decks randomly and I shuffle it. I lay out the first hand that I draw and I play imaginary games in my head. And let's be honest, the cards are so pretty. Plushies. And a picture art frame of Pac-Man and the ghosts. I see. Well, yeah, I can get why plushies are a big thing. The problem about plushies is that they are usually very big. And they tend to collect a lot of dust. I really love plushies, don't get me wrong. But I tend to I focus on a very few that I keep behind the glass shelves. If it's just getting too many, then I would feel bad about having them out on the open. But yeah, I definitely... Okay, I can just walk through them. I can definitely get the idea of plushies. I love crane games, so one of my favorite crane games is obviously plushies and figures. But yeah, the use of a plushie compared to the space it takes, and it is just something that I'm very cautious about. Why is there a yoga lady? That is so bizarre. Also, the way that you manage the Pikmin, just a framed picture art with the ghosts, that's very effective. Pikmin has been a very big influence back in the day. A lot of people, they connect the beginning of the entire gaming industry with games like Pac-Man. So it's not just a personal thing, but it becomes a very cultural thing as well. Pac-Man is really huge. So I can definitely get that. And it's also very simple shapes, like if you consider it, Pac-Man is just a early emoji. It's a circle with a mouth. Oh my gosh. Yeah, fragile stuff as always. It's so very precious, but also very dangerous. I just realized I'm supposed to be in a wiki game. Okay, I'm not sure if we need to be in a small, medium or large airplane, but we've been using the wing a lot. So today we are using the Wolfen. It's just taking a while to rest. Yeah, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. As long as you love stuff, it doesn't matter what it is. Why is this looking so broken today? A second life is just being silly. There we go. Yeah, sometimes mesh is not meshing correctly. It's not even mesh, it's just shaped pixels and trims. And for some reason I instantly thought about pretzels. I don't even know why. Maybe because it almost sounds like pixels and it's shaped, so yeah. I love pretzels. There has been a very, very long time in my life where I literally just went to work, and during a lunch break, I would just go to the store next door and just buy 2 or 3 pretzels. And then I went for a walk of 1 hour and I just ate the pretzels on the way. And that was my entire lunch, just a few of pretzels. And I did this for, I think, at least 4 years. Every single day. And nope, this is not the vehicle from or of Star Fox, and this is the enemy side, potentially, the Star Wolf team. So if anything, this would make me a Star Wolf. If you played the really old Light Wars game or Star Fox 64, then once you reach the last planet with Andros and you arrive from the backside, and then you fight the guys in these vehicles. There's 4 of them. Oh my gosh. I think there's actually 2 fights against them. I just can't remember when the first one is. Or at which planet it was. I just remember that the last one was definitely the fight on the Empress planet, where you had to go through the space station with the big rotating spaceships. And that was also the route where, during the fight against Andreas, he didn't turn into just a big skull with hands, but instead he turned into the brain. And you fought against the brain. And after that, or during the fight, you received a call from Star Fox's father. And he would lead you out through the collapsing space station. Oh, I was not aware that there's 3 fights. I really just remembered 2 of them. And I still can't remember where the first one is. I know that the first level was Cornelia. And depending on if you went through the waterfall or the regular end war, you went through the meteor field or the asteroid belt. What was the one on top? I think it's the fight at the pyramid, where you meet up with the pink kitty. And after that, this is where it gets fuzzy. I think on the top, it's the aqua level or something. And on the bottom, I'm not sure. I think it's the train level. Or maybe I'm skipping something. I just know that there's a way, if you destroy the train, you can jump from the lower route to the upper route. And then there's also Sector Z on the upper route, where you have to defend the Great Fox against a bunch of rapids. I think it's 5. But I really can't remember the planet with the fight against the first Star Wolf team. I know there is one, but I'm pretty sure that there's just 2 of them. Oh, there's also the fire level against the Magma monster. Again, I really can't remember the area they are in. Wait, am I supposed to land over here? Yes, I am. And we're almost there. That was almost flawless. We just ignored it. I missed the landing. I think back in the days I also had a bunch of Star Wars vehicles. I definitely owned a TIE Fighter, a TIE Interceptor, and the airship or the spaceship of Darth Maul. The Sith Interceptor, I think, I'm not sure. But my all-time favorite vehicle from Star Wars is and will always be the Lambda Shuttle. I don't know why, but there's just something about the Lambda Shuttle that I love so much. Oh, here's a little funny fact. I own a lot of Star Wars tabletop stuff, and I actually got a 3D printed Great Fox in the tabletop size for Star Wars Armada, which is absolutely fire. And I also got 4 little wings for the game. So I can basically play Star Wars Armada with the Star Fox team, which is just awesome. Oh, I'm not sure if I ever told you about this. In Star Wars Legion, you also have some vehicles, and I realized that one of the vehicles is the troop transport for the Imperial side and the clones, and another vehicle is the air speeder. No, it's not the air speeder. It's the snow glider from Hoth. And these aircrafts are almost the same size. Then there was a game, I forgot the name. It was for the Switch, and you got a controller where you could put a miniature spaceship on top of the controller. And based on how you built the ship, you got a different construction inside of the game. So it was a bit like Skylanders, but with spaceships. And for the Switch, the game also had Star Fox. and Arvings. And these Arvings came in the Switch starter box, which was super cheap for some time. And the Arvings themselves, and even the Fox figure, they were the exact size for Star Wars Legion. So I bought 4 of the starting games for this game, just to get the Arvings out of them. And I changed them into Star Wars Legion sized Arvings, which is absolutely fire again. You just have to remove the weapon slots and fill it up with some green stuff, and then you're pretty much set. Oh my gosh. Okay, these are very hard to handle. They're very steering and sensitive. Yeah, not intensive, sensitive. The ground is looking like there's a lot of snakes, which is really creepy. Wait a second. Wait a second. I'm not sure, but I think... No. This is not the area that I was thinking about. It did look very, very close though. Oh my gosh. The next time we take a stop somewhere, I definitely have to drink something. I'm not sure what it is today, but... my throat is so dry. Oh, now I know where we are. I think this is the outskirts of Canada, or what the name is. That would be insane. I haven't been here in quite a while. Not gonna lie, I'll be so glad when we're finally out of this vehicle. Oh, this is definitely the place. I remember all of the vehicles around. Also, in case you can hear on your drive, let me just check something. If this is the place that I think about, then all of the vehicles around, yeah, you can buy them for free. These are actually freebies, which is crazy, and it's most of the stuff that you see here. So you can even get this really huge airship just for free. Or this laboratory over here. Just keep in mind that most of the stuff is built from very, very old prints. So don't expect some fancy mesh or something. But the simple mere fact that you get them for free is just amazing. There's also a very, very big submarine that is based on... what's the name? You know, there's the movie about Neptune. No, it's not Neptune. The Fantastic Four. No. The League of Infathomable Gentlemen or something. Yeah, that's the movie that I was looking for. There's this really big submarine, and they got this somewhere over here. It's probably somewhere on the docks. And it's also for free, so You can basically get an entire film made of the submarine. It's just insane. And it just keep building stuff as well. Apparently you can get an entire island. So I guess this is a sort of an amusement park. Okay, let's see if there's a crane game. I got my doubt stuff. The wild whale. Okay, I have no idea what this is doing. Like a pirate. Okay. But you can definitely tell that they put a lot of work into this. I think I found myself a crane game. Okay. I have no idea how to play this. It doesn't come with the usual buttons. Maybe it's automated or something. Yeah, this looks pretty automated. Yeah, so you just click it and you got a certain chance. That's a shame. I really love to play the crane games, not just watch them. Okay, let's continue. Wait a second. Oh my gosh, it's already been an hour. I was not aware that we have been on for an hour already. It's insane. I just saw in the text log that this is the last leg towards the final prize and to this one-off place. And I was like, wait a second, we've just started the drive. But it's actually been an hour already. That's insane. I did not see that coming. That kinda explains why my throat is so dry now. Okay, let me just drink something really quick. I always drink way too little on my free days. The time is going by so quickly that you just forget about it. Alright, here we go. I wonder what we get this time. Oh, this is yeah, I was just about to say. Sometimes this corner over here is very, very lucky. I've lost so many vehicles doing this. I think when I'm done with my drive over here, I'm actually tuning in on the main group's server. There, oh my gosh. I thought we are done for. Okay, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, they are always streaming the drive as well. On Pio's channel. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've just done this. Good night. It's funny how often this happens. You just are saying something and the moment you say it, someone else just had it on their mind as well. This is like the situations where you're walking on a way and someone is coming from the opposite direction and you both try to evade and then you're starting a little dance where everybody tries to let the other pass by but always evading into the same direction, so you just keep blocking each other's path. That is so funny when it happens. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think it's about time that the drive is over. The lag is getting really bad. But we're definitely still checking out the reward feature. It would just be really inconvenient if we crashed before. Oh my gosh. Oh my double gosh. Alright, 3 minutes to go. And we're currently on the middle or southern area of Second Life. Which is a nice change because we often drive around in just the north and east region. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on, but for some reason I'm getting a really bad left side drift. Okay, there we go. I think sometimes it's just because of the roads, because they are made not as an even plain road, but as very many singular pieces. You can see it when you look at the border of the road, that this is really just put together pieces and not just singular roads. And sometimes you hit one of the knobs where they connect, and it's just giving you a little drift to a side. And this is like the really old German way of building roads, where they placed a lot of metal plates next to one another with a little gap in between, and it was drivable, but it felt very much like boing 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 boing. But I guess it got the job done. And that's all that matters. Alright, we're almost there. That's a very long straight road. Yeah, some of the drivers definitely gonna have a blast over here. Especially if you love racing. And I think this is it. Nope. Then maybe this one. Oh, this. Yeah, I remember this one. Last time this guy over here sponsored the drive, we got a vehicle that looked a bit like a pillbox. It was a little... I think it had 3 wheels and almost like a little capsule. It was a fun one though. And there we go. Alpha Omega Designs. Okay, so maybe we get a bike or maybe a car. Who knows? Oh, that would be nice. But I don't think we get one of these. And we're officially done with the drive. Let's see what we got. The mini bike. Okay. I feel like I've seen this before, but I'm not sure. Okay, this looks very, very wrong. Okay, we are just using it like this, I guess. If you try to ride a bike in real life, don't do it like this. Make sure that you sit on the seat. Just for your own safety. Okay. This is looking so silly. It's also very bouncy. Now, here's the thing. This little mini bike is actually driving not bad. That makes it so much worse. This would be actually a pretty neat vehicle if it didn't look this silly. But yeah, it's very, very bouncy. Okay, so this doesn't have a clicky menu, I think. So you can't change how far you sit on it. Let's see if we can edit the colors and stuff. Yes, so it is editable, but we are still sitting pretty weird. Okay, so you can adjust it. Okay. I wish they would have done this before setting it out. Let's see if it works. Set. There we go. And this could be X. I'm not sure. Yes, it is. There we go. Well, what do you know? We're almost driving it. I just can't really reach the handles though. But this is pretty good. If it would have saved. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked on clear. I guess it cleared it. Yeah, there we go. So it almost looks correct right now. But we are still a bit of a zombie driver, I think, considering the iron position. So we are driving, searching for brains. Brains. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the driving of this thing is almost phenomenal. I wouldn't trade my Super 80 for it or the Stratos, but this is driving really well. Oh, never mind. Okay, it definitely struggles with steering. So in very, very steep curves, it really struggles a lot. The radius is just really big. But otherwise, this is a really fun vehicle. Okay, we're gonna call it the zombie mini bike. Just because we are looking like, or maybe it's not a zombie, you know what this reminds me on? The Chinese version of vampires. They also got their arms stretched forwards and they're jumping just like this, and yeah, we are either zombies or Chinese vampires. But again, it's a really fun vehicle. Alrighty, and with this said, I guess this concludes today's drive. Thank you very much for watching this far. If you enjoyed it, please consider to like and subscribe. It really helps the journey with the YouTube algorithm. And feel free to drop in the comments below what you are collecting. It's always fun to see what people got on their minds and got their heart set to. But yeah, we are done for today. I hope that all of you guys have a nice rest of your days. And see you next time. Bye.